touch with or pushed away. But sometimes that drink is time that gets out of hand. It's time spent apologizing. And sometimes it's time with a heavy cost. If you feel your alcohol consumption has become unmanageable, VA has treatments to help you manage. Visit va.gov/recovery.
Now that I'm retired, I'm worried about making ends meet. Food, medicine, and rent cost more every day. And that's why I used benefitscheckup.org. It connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Benefitscheckup.org is a free service from the National Council on Aging. In a few clicks, older adults like me can see if they might qualify for money-saving programs. If you're on a fixed income, benefitscheckup.org might help you too. For free, visit today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 44 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Pittsburgh police are investigating an early morning stabbing. The man was found with a stab wound to the head and the lower back inside Market Square downtown. It happened around 12:30 this morning. He was just upgraded to stable condition at the hospital. Police say there are two suspects who left the scene in a dark-colored SUV. So far, no arrests. SWAT personnel shot an individual in Lower Borough, Westmoreland County on Saturday night after that suspect initially fired shots at authorities during a standoff. Police in Lower Borough originally responded to Rogers Drive around 6:30 Saturday night after reports that a person had fired shots into a nearby residence. Standoff occurred. Westmoreland SWAT team was called in. Eventually, the individual inside the residence allegedly fired multiple shots outside of a window at SWAT members. SWAT returned fire, striking the individual. He was transported to a Pittsburgh hospital. He's under arrest. No officers were injured in that incident. A confrontation erupted during a protest against the arrest of a South American man living in Springdale by ICE agents. The protest started around noon in the area of Pittsburgh and School Streets as people protested the arrest of 36-year-old Randy Cordova Flores on Tuesday by ICE agents. Now, during the protests on Saturday, a man stepped out of his SUV. He confronted a few protesters, pushed a photographer. Springdale police addressed the situation. The man was briefly detained, then released. The rally continued following that confrontation. Also during the rally, protesters called on Springdale as a borough to end its agreement to cooperate with ICE officials. In Wilkinsburg, a fire broke out Saturday evening at the Douglas Plaza Apartments on Laketon Road. There was a fire in the elevator shaft area. Multiple people inside the building had to be evacuated as firefighters dealt with the fire. No injuries were reported. Cause of the fire is under investigation. KDKA Radio News Time 11:02. Time to visit RomeMonuments.com. Life is a journey to remember. Memorialize that journey. RomeMonuments.com. We've got the AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
Hello, this is Lester Botkin, Chief Investment Officer of Botkin Family Wealth Management. One of my favorite clients, I'll call her Sue, has a work ethic that blows me away. She continues to love what she does, and she's been incredibly successful at earning and saving. Recently, Sue shared with me how proud she is of her daughter, who is doing a beautiful job raising 2 young children, but how she worries about them because it's so tough for young people to afford to buy a home. Her daughter's growing family could use more space, but moving up just isn't in their budget. I asked Sue if she'd like to explore the impact of gifting her daughter money now to get the bigger house that she needed. Could I really do that, she asked? We determined that taking a withdrawal now for a substantial down payment on a new house would likely have no impact on her income strategy in retirement. Sue decided to do it, and the last time I saw her, she was glowing with happiness. Financial planning isn't a game to see who can die with the most. It's about getting maximum fulfillment from your money during your life. Find out more at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings clouds with some rain, especially in the afternoon, and a high of 43, followed by a cloudy night tonight with some fog developing late, the low 33. Once that fog breaks up tomorrow, expect a mix of clouds and sun and a high of 49, with the warming trend continuing into Tuesday with another mix of clouds and sun, but a high of 59. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, Greg Diulis is here. It's your Pratt Pack with a big baseball show coming up for you today as the Bucks Pirates pitchers and catchers getting ready in Bradenton and Sarasota. Truly some of the best territory anywhere in this place that we call home, the United States. And what a place it is for many of them, people in the media, including Jason Mackey, the Post-Gazette. We hope to hear from him soon. But we will have Bruce Tanner, longtime scout, most recently with Detroit, but now he's a free agent out there doing incredible things and promoting baseball. He'll be with us the next 2 weekends, beginning at 11:30, right after the news update. And we pay tribute to Elroy Face, who lost his battle after an incredible life at the age of 97. Bob Dvorak will be here to pay tribute to him. We're going to talk some Olympics. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. But let's just begin about Elroy Face. Now, look, Elroy Face, when I was a kid, was at the latter end of his career. Finished in 1969, but he played most of it with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But just some of the things that I was going over, Greg, that are absolutely amazing when you think about this guy. He was 18-1 in 1959 as a reliever. Some believe the term fireman, meaning reliever who comes in from that bullpen, was coined because of him. 96 career relief wins, 191 saves, 188 with the Pirates, which is still the best ever, 802 games with the Pirates. And in 1960 in the World Series, he secured 3 saves against the mighty Yankees. Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. One of the things that I wasn't alive in 60, but was it not the case that people would joke that when he went 18-1, he was not a starting pitcher, right? That was in relief. So he must have given up. I think what people used to tease is that team was so good that he would give up enough runs when he would come in to tie the game and then stay in the game and get the win. So he got his 18 wins. But when you look at the amount of saves that he had over his career, I don't think that was any type of a normal course of action or intentional action on his part. But you mentioned to me, Rob, that he's still the Pirates saves leader, which is absolutely amazing. And those were the days when he wasn't just coming in the ninth inning and getting 2 outs. I'm sure he was multi-inning saves were par for the course for him.
I did hear from Jason Mackey. He is on the field at McKechnie, so we're going to have Alonzo. I just sent Alonzo a message, and Alonzo's going to get a call, give him a call, and we'll get him on the air in just a couple of moments. But, that's a heck of a record to withstand the test of time. That's like almost 60 years we're talking about.
Yeah, and I guess part of it is a testament to the fact that relief pitchers nowadays don't tend to last very long. The only guy I can think of is Mariano Rivera, who stayed with the Yankees for all those many years. But the Pirates tend to have been, over the course of the past at least 20 or 25 years, they would get a save guy, a ninth inning guy, a tail end of the bullpen guy that would be hot for 3 or 4 years, and then they would move on. So nobody had enough time to be the guy, because the Pirates have had that tendency to not be able to pay a guy once he got to the higher level. So they're not going to pay a saves guy to get to the point where he's going to get 180 saves with the Pirates.
Lots of stuff to get to with Jason Mackey, but we just have him for a couple of minutes, so let's get to him right now. He's in Bradenton, and, of course, he's the guy from the Post-Gazette, and a lot of times you hear him on 93.7 The Fan, just down the hall here at Odyssey. Jason, before we get into everything, thank you so much for taking time. I know it's a busy time for you. I was reading your article about what's next for Andrew McCutchen. I just want to begin there quickly because he's been a fan favorite forever, and with Ozuna coming here, it looks like his time is done. One of the teams you mentioned is St. Louis. Do you think that could be a fit for Andrew McCutchen? Good morning.
Good morning, Rob. And yes, I do. It's a team that has gone with the youth movement. They have a need for probably a part-time DH. I think they could give him some outfield reps if that's what he's looking for. The people I talk to close to Kutch tell me that he does have options. St. Louis was suggested as one of them. So, that's why I think that. It's not the only one. And I know from talking to Kutch, he wants to continue playing. So, there's certainly some things there that make sense in terms of a fit. I wouldn't, I think we're probably going to see some news on Kutch soon, Rob, that he's got to get in camp and get going. First workout starts most places on Monday. St. Louis is one. That would be an interesting one, too, within the NL Central.
Jason, this is Greg. Good morning to you. I enjoy your work. When you talk about Kutch moving on this time around, the last time around, we understood it. When he left for the Giants, and that wasn't really of his own making or his decision. But seeing Kutch go now to another organization is going to be kind of like seeing Franco Harris in a Seattle Seahawks uniform.
Well, that's rough.
It is, but it's not. I don't begrudge the Pirates for wanting to be better. He's a fan favorite, but if I'm going to talk critically for a second, and this is obviously setting aside Andrew's legacy, which is huge and should be honored, but, he was among the least productive designated hitters in Major League Baseball last year. If they want more from that position, I can't begrudge them that. And I find it hard to believe that whatever role or fit they were willing to offer suited Andrew. So, that was part of what the point I was making in that piece, and it wasn't the genesis of the piece, but I don't think either side's at fault here. I think we're looking to assign blame on one side or the other. It just doesn't work out for both parties. And, can you maybe say that they should have had a plan ahead of time on how this thing ends? Sure, but I don't blame Andrew for wanting to continue to play and get more money and have a prominent role and play an impactful part on a team. And I can't blame the Pirates for wanting to have more production than what Andrew gave them last year.
All right, let's get on here with some other things because our time is limited. Ozuna, you like that or not? Go ahead.
I like it. He's a major league hitter. If he recaptures the form that he had in 2024, my goodness, the guy was top 5 in MVP balloting in the National League. That's crazy. You could be looking at over 900 OPS. I don't expect that, but do I expect them to get a lot more production out of the DH spot with Ozuna versus McCutchen? Yes, I do. It complicates some things for them defensively. I don't necessarily know how I feel about Ryan O'Hearn playing, 120 games or whatever it ends up being in the outfield. That's some concern for me, but it makes them better offensively, Rob, and they have to score more runs. So you kind of start there and you figure out the rest of the stuff later.
Hey, Jason, give this fan who sits along the first base line for 20-plus games a year and cheers on the Bucks, give me some hope because everybody's talking about, we're going to have a nice offensive lineup, but it looks like we're going to have a bunch of guys playing with skillets instead of gloves. Is this defensive unit going to be as bad as everybody fears?
Man, I don't see it. They have a pitching staff right now that is going to do a pretty good job of preventing guys from hitting the ball at all. Spencer Horwitz has become a very good defender at first base. He makes everybody around them better. Somewhere on the left side of the infield, at least as we sit here today, Jared Triolo is going to play, and he's won a Gold Glove. He's a pretty good defender. Connor Griffin plays. I like their options at shortstop. Brandon Lau at second base. Yeah, you'd like to see a little bit more than he did last year. He wasn't a very good defender. O'Neal Cruz has looked better in center field. This is a different version of O'Neal Cruz than I've ever seen, and I've also had that conversation with several people about how impressed they are with O'Neal. Obviously none of that matters until games start. Brian Reynolds has been a good fielder in the past. Is he going to win a Gold Glove in left? No, but they need him to hold his own. Jake Mangum, when he plays, is a very good, if not above average defender. So I don't think it's going to be horrendous. I know that that's kind of the narrative out there about the Pirates defense, but they need it to be passable. And, if it's not elite, if it's okay, but they have a pretty good offense and they have a really good pitching staff, I think it works.
All right, so, last thing. Go ahead, real quick.
You brought up Cruz. Has he been out there yet? You've been able to get eyes on him. Does he look like he's settling into and feeling more comfortable in that center field spot?
O'Neill Cruz looks like a man. And I know he's a man and not a boy, and I'm not saying that, but I mean, there's just a different feel to him. I was talking to a minor league coach in the outfield 2 days ago, and we were just going back and forth about O'Neill Cruz, and this is a guy that O'Neill knows well, and went up to this guy that O'Neill did and was just talking about all the work he's done, how proud he is of it, and really, like, he took basically no time off. So short answer is yes, he looks better in the outfield. Again, I'm prefacing that by saying it needs to happen. But
all right, two quick ones, real quick. Connor Griffin, you mentioned him. You think he will be ready sometime, and can Paul Skeens repeat? Go ahead. Final two, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I think Connor Griffin can be ready. I'm not saying he will be ready, but I think he can be ready. This kid, it's hard to imagine that he's 19 years old. He doesn't act like it. He has every tool that you would want, and I think if he puts it all together, there's a chance that he's on the opening day roster. I think we just need to see more. And I don't have any doubt about Paul Skeens. I mean, he looks like he's from another planet. When he does things down here, man, it's just like, it's just not even fair. I wrote today about taking live at bats off of him, and it is not friendly for anybody who steps in the box. And he looks in midseason form right now because of the World Baseball Classic. He's looked really good.
That is a really good article you have in this morning's Post, because if anyone hasn't seen it yet, that's a really fun piece.
And that's another reason why we need that paper to stick around. Listen, Jason, thanks. If you can give us a few next week, great. If not, totally understand. Have a great time down there, and let's get this team in the winning direction, okay?
All right, guys. Sounds good. Have a good Sunday.
All right. Even Connor Griffin faced Paul Skeens. 3 pitches and 3 strikes. So... no mercy.
See, that's where Skeens got to throw him a little bit. Give him a let-up pitch. Let him have one, right?
He must be
throw him a bone.
He must be like a stone-cold killer. I mean, unbelievable. Okay, we'll come back. We got lots more to get to. Plus, we're going to dip into the Olympics a little bit. Stay with us.
News, weather, traffic, and business every day. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Folks, Marty here. My friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Scott from Aspenwall, amazed at NASCO's quality, honesty, work ethic, craftsmanship. Scott loved working with NASCO, appreciated that NASCO doesn't use high-pressure sales tactics like other companies. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Scott. Get NASCO, 412-373-2000. Get them on your roof. 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Look, I got a lot of baseball questions. You and I can get to that a little bit later, but I want to make sure we jump here on the Olympics a little bit. Look, I still like it. A lot of people don't, because you got the X Games and you got all sorts of things, 24-hour cable sports channels and social media. It doesn't have the glitz that it once had, even the Summer Olympics, but there's something about the Olympics, especially things like downhill skiing, you know, slalom, and, of course, speed skating and figure skating. I still enjoy it. But one thing's for sure, Norway still knows how to get it done. They are the medal leader. We are in third place now, but other countries like Italy, the host country, doing extremely well, Japan doing extremely well, but the good old US of A, especially that men's hockey team who started a little slow yesterday but finally got a win against Denmark. They await Germany today. But Lindsey Vonn has finally had enough surgeries that they're going to let her come home to the United States, but she's going to have a long road back, man.
Yeah, and obviously, Father Time is going to work against her as far as coming back, and I'm sure she'll come back to the point where she can walk around and be okay that way. But as far as skiing competitively again, I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point. But God bless her. What a wonderful career that she's made for herself, and she'll do very well in the commentating business and the other areas that she can monetize her fame. So she'll be fine. And it was a shame to have to go out the way that she did when it would have been such a great story if she were able to complete the comeback.
So I have not watched Miracle, which is on Netflix, about 1980. I saw an interview with Michael Ruzioni the other day, and I was watching Sydney for Team Canada. Still love watching him play. You think hockey with the NHL stars and with Russia not being Russia anymore, does it still have the same glamour that it had back in the day?
It doesn't have the glamour of the 80 Olympics or even was it in the 70s when the NHL against the USSR, right. The KLM line, that was the heyday of international hockey from my perspective, with Tretiak in goal and Larionov, I believe, was the L in the KLM line. Those guys were, and there was just so much because of the political combatancy that was going on at the times too. That was really entertaining. I don't get that same charge out of the Olympic hockey, but the Olympic hockey's actually been pretty good, and it's fun because you get a lot of the other countries. There are NHL guys in most of the countries now that you see, so you get names that you recognize in each of these places. So I think it's been kind of cool to watch some of the hockey. I'm not. You were talking about, do you like the Olympics in general? I do. I don't like the goofy sports, the ski boarding. To me, that's I don't get that modernization. I understand that's a sign of the times.
But that's what the X Games is for.
Exactly, yeah. And so I'm not a fan of that stuff. But just like breakdancing in the Summer Olympics,
they're trying to compete. That's why they're doing that.
I understand, but that's not to my taste. I still can't understand why I get hypnotized watching curling. Because
that's because you play. That's because you play pickleball and you
and bocce. It's bocce on ice. But and I got myself went down that rabbit hole watching the USA versus Japan last night, late night, and it was just. I couldn't turn it off.
Listen, when I was young, I wanted to do a lot of things in this business, but because of watching Jim McKay all those years, I always thought, man, it would be really cool to be with Bob Beatty, for a little name out of the past, and be in the Swiss Alps or something doing some of these sports. Because, when we were little, ABC's Wide World of Sports was what you had. That was it. There was nothing else. I still find it fascinating, but I just hope these athletes, because of what's happening in name, image, and likeness and football and all these other sports, I hope that they're getting more than just a chance to get on the Wheaties box. I hope they're making a little bit of money somewhere.
Well, they don't make the money from the Olympics gold medals. They don't really make, even a year's worth of salary from as hard as they, put in. Now, they do have training facilities that they're entitled to stay in and things of that nature. But I'm still trying to figure out why I'm so fascinated by this Lola Brigida girl that's from Italy that's a speed skater. I mean, that's the speed skater that I'm rooting for the most because of the name Gina Lola Brigida from, before we were born, who was, just an Italian sex symbol actress.
Well, it was like my dad used to say, that'll make you take the licorice back you stole at the 5 and 10. So I get it. But, Jake Paul's beautiful girl is a speed skating champion too. So man. I don't know. But Eric Heidel's another name out of the past. We were talking about him the other day because 1980, same year, Lake Placid. But it doesn't seem as though the US of A, they were really starting to gain ground against people like Norway and others who dominate, and even Italy, but they've kind of taken a step back. I just wonder how glamorous it is for a young athlete to be thinking about, hey, I want to grow up and be a speed skater. I don't know.
To me, speed skating is the most enthralling of them.
Really?
The short track speed skating, to me, that's one of those goofy ones. It's like roller derby. Everybody's getting wiped out. The whole group of them get fall and run into the pads, as compared to the regular track speed skating, which is more of the pure version of the sport.
So let me ask you: have you ever broken a bone where you've had to be in a hospital bed for more than like a day?
No.
Well, let me tell you why I empathize with Lindsey Vaughn. So I broke my ankle back many, many years ago, and I had to be in the bed for a week at a hospital. Oof. They had to basically wait till the swelling came down. I broke my growth line, which is a significant break, sled riding. So when you would just to finally start to drift off to sleep, they would have to come in and reposition it. I'm going to tell you, you think a toothache is bad or eye pain is bad, which they both are, but to have a broken bone and have to lie in a bed for days before they can surgically repair it, it's hell on earth. And I can't imagine. She broke her leg like in 3 places.
Is that what the...
Yeah. And she already had an ACL that was gone, just meniscus that was bruised, and they had to immobilize it with the halo that you've seen people who break their neck to where they put the screws in the skull. Well, they put those screws in her knees, in her thighs, in her calf, and she had to lay there, and she's still talking, still promoting, wishing people the best. That girl has a heart of a champion, but then you start thinking back, being a child, your dad in the car, taking you out before the sun comes up, it's freezing, you're tired, you're a kid, you want to be a kid, and they put you up top of some like huge mountain, and they tell you to go as high as 70 miles an hour for 10 minutes down a hill. And you don't have shock absorbers, you just have knees like the rest of us. And she's 41 years old, which to me, that's a child, but still, how you do all that and you're not like kicking and screaming and you still have this love of the game.
We were in a conversation, I think it was with my son-in-law, and he was telling me that some of these people have, there's a condition where they don't have a fear element in their, like their brain is missing the fear element, so they don't get that response of like that's why you're willing to dive off of the rocks in Mexico and doing the high dive, or you're willing to bungee jump off of a bridge. There are certain people that have the lack of the thing that tells you you're supposed to be afraid of this, but I don't know that everybody possesses that, but to go 70 miles an hour on 2 wood slats going downhill and not knowing for sure if you're going to stop in time is just crazy.
Well, like that Christmas of 1970 when I went down a hill knowing there was a 20-foot cliff at the end, and there was a good chance I was going to go over that cliff, and I still did it. So I understand. Wouldn't do that today, but...
Was it like the chicken scene in James Dean?
Listen, it was like... whoosh.
You did this? You did a ski jump?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yes, and I tried to get out of the toboggan because I went down by myself. And
now, was this like an Olympic hill that you got a chance to do for TV, or you just did this on your own?
I'm going to make it real quick. So it's December 28th, Christmas week. Mom's going to Kaufman's for some of those after Christmas sales. Come with us. No, I don't want to go with you girls. I want to go with my friends. So I go out, and I had just a light, shirt on because I thought we were going to go in somebody's basement and shoot pool or something. But all my friends got the parkas on. We're going skiing or sled riding. I said, yeah, I'll go. So Columbia Gas used to basically cut out huge paths in the woods so they could put pipes in, okay? Yeah. And a lot of times you'd have like one hill one side, one hill the other, and you'd have the valley in the middle. So there was this place called the Pipeline across the street from where I grew up, and everybody was afraid to go down it. There's like 10 guys, but me, the knucklehead that I was, give it to me. I'm going, gun-ho. I start going down this hill. The snow starts coming down like massively. I'm blinded. I don't see the end of the cliff. And the next thing you know, I hear this wind swirling. And I'm like,
you're airborne.
I'm in slow motion. No. So I go to get out of the toboggan thinking ground. But by the time I got back in, my foot was underneath the toboggan, and we hit, and I had to lay in a creek of water up to my waist almost until the firemen came down the other side to get me.
Oh, my gosh.
And they got me halfway up the hill, and they lost me again. And I started going back down the hill. But I ended up spending that entire Christmas in a hospital, and Dr. Baldick, God rest his soul, actually made me upright again. So that was a very frightening moment in my life.
And then you got in trouble because you made the fireman come get you, right?
My dad, what are you, a knucklehead? These guys are trying to have Christmas vacation. They're having a drink with their family, and you have them come out to rescue your you-know-what. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Stay with us. My Olympic moment, by the way.
I'm Mike Broniszewski of Sarver True Value.
And I'm Andy Amrine of EV True Value. The temperature can get pretty low here in Pittsburgh. On those cold days, True Value features heat holders to keep you warm from head to toe. Heat holders, hats, gloves, socks, and feet warmers are available in various colors and styles for men, women, and children. Heat holders and True Value, making life warmer. EV True Value and Sarver True Value, proud supporters of KDKA's Warmathon.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times, but when you need us, we're here for you, and we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 44 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Pittsburgh police continue to investigate after a man was found stabbed on the street at Market Square downtown. He was found with a stab wound to the head, also in the lower back. He was taken to the hospital. He's now in stable condition. Police say there were two suspects that left the scene downtown in a dark-colored SUV. Today marks the end of an era as KDKA Radio's Chris Moore will retire after 32 years here on KDKA Radio. Moore was asked on Friday's Big K Morning Show what he's proudest of.
Oh, I think showing Pittsburgh a reflection of itself through some of the documentaries that I have produced, like Wiley Avenue Days, Barbershops, and so many other shows that have had a positive influence on people who watch television.
His final show is from 5 p.m. until 9 o'clock tonight. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voices of Pittsburgh News Radio KDK.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. I've been a customer for over a decade. Why? Because the professional work CertaPro Painters does protects your home, quality paint, worry-free process, free estimates. That's why I've relied on CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg with 6 Pittsburgh locations, always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. This winter, help keep Western Pennsylvania families warm. Support Dollar Energy Fund by bidding in the online Warmathon auction at warmathon.com. For nearly 20 years, Warmathon has helped provide critical utility assistance to neighbors in need. Bid today and help make a difference this winter. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Details at KDKA-radio.com.
This is a message from your sponsor, Intuit TurboTax. This year, file your taxes with TurboTax and hand everything off to one of the thousands of experts who can get you filed online with 100% accuracy. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in the iOS mobile app.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Under a mostly cloudy sky this afternoon, there will be a little bit of rain at times, a high of 43. Mostly cloudy tonight, some areas of fog late, a low of 33. And still could have some fog early tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny, high 51. For AccuWeather, I'm Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we'll be back on Monday. Lots to talk about. As always, Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch you on Monday right here, KDK.
I got to tell you, when we first started rolling out a lot of baseball talk, after I was, getting the Pirates on every week after my Pirates Sunday stint, it was this guy, one of the most knowledgeable people in baseball for a number of years, involved in it as a professional scout, former big leaguer, and the pride of Western Pennsylvania. Here he is, back for a command performance, hopefully this week for a few, and then next week for a few. He is Bruce Tanner. Bruce, how are you? Life okay?
Yeah, how you doing, Rob?
I'm great. Good to have you here. My partner, Greg Diolis, of course, is here joining me. We have a lot to get to, but we're going to focus on pitching and the Pirates with you. So let's talk about Bubba Chandler. Is he ready to maybe become number 2 as far as the rotation is concerned? Bubba Chandler, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say so. Although, when you got Skeens and Keller's already established. Bubba probably has a little bit of higher ceiling, but sometimes those young kids have to go through growing pains. And depending on what the organization does, they may not want to stretch him out too much to where his innings pile up. So he probably ends up taking a back seat and ends up being, probably their third guy this year.
Hey, Bruce. Good morning to you. This is Greg. It's good to talk with
Greg,
you again.
Good morning.
Hey,
yes, sir.
The Pirates got a lot out of Jared Jones a couple of years ago, and then he gets hurt and has the Tommy John last year. What did you think of him 2 years ago, and did he appear to be the type of guy that was ultimately destined to be an ace somewhere, or just your thoughts on Jared Jones and expectations for this year?
Yeah, hopefully he'll get healthy down the line. He's a smaller pitcher with a lot of intensity to his delivery. You do worry about those guys health-wise. I think that was kind of the niche when you saw him pitch, is like, boy, he gets after it really good, but he's not a big guy, and you just wonder how many innings. You just don't see many guys his build that give you that 180 innings in a season. So there was concern there, and that is my concern going forward with him, is to bring him back real slow and kind of monitor his situation, and maybe he ends up being a really nice 5 or 6 inning pitcher.
Yes.
But I like the stuff.
Do you see him maybe as that old fashioned that middle innings guy that can kind of suck up some innings for you when you get a bad start?
He could. I don't think, depending on his health, You want guys like this to be in more of a steady role to where they know when they're pitching, they know what day they're throwing, they know their sidelines, and I think you can keep guys a little healthier that way.
So there's an article this morning in the Post-Gazette about Urquidy coming over, who's got some World Series victories in his hip pocket that he's carrying around, and he's another guy that had been hurt. But another guy that I'd be interested in your take on where you think the Pirates would be able to utilize him.
I think he's probably your number 5, and you just try to get innings out of him and see if he he's got to go forward because it appears like he has gone backwards some, but you hope that he can at least give them some innings so that they don't have to, to go to the bullpen so much. You hope with Skeens and Keller that you get length from those two guys so that it takes a lot of pressure off the other 3. And with him being a veteran, there might be some times that he has to suck it up a little bit. For the sake of the bullpen, maybe not getting too taxed.
Thank you. I was just going to ask you one more, and then Rob will kick me off because I start to monopolize the show.
You're allowed. You're allowed.
The Pirates don't seem to have ever been all that concerned with matching their pitching rotation with their ballpark. It would seem to me that a left-handed pitcher or a couple of quality starting left-handers would fit well at PNC because you got that short porch and you want to get some lefties in there. Why? Well, I shouldn't say why. Is it at all concerning to you that they have this dearth of left-handed pitching?
Well, the what they did with Liriano several years ago, that was a resurrection project.
Right.
Andrew Haney, the Bailey Falter, they've done a nice job getting some left-handed starters and really elevating their performance. Now, this year, obviously, it looks more right-handed heavy. I think right now they're just going with what they feel are their best 5 arms rather than maybe go out and get a lefty that they're not quite sure about. You know what I mean?
Right.
And whereas when they got Haney, he was an unknown product, but he did a nice job for a while. Same way with Bailey Falter. And years ago when they did Francisco Liriano, he was fantastic for them. So they have done a nice job getting the lefties. This year, I think they, as you could see, they were the one thing I really liked is they went a little more offensive, because they do need some offense.
All right, let me jump in here. Braxton Ashcroft and Mike Burrows, a couple of the young guys. Where do you see their progress heading into this year, Bruce Tanner?
Well, Burrows got traded.
Yeah, he
Yeah. That's right. He did. Go ahead.
Ashcraft, he's a guy that's had a couple surgeries, so you got to be careful with him. I really liked what I saw when he came out of the bullpen. I thought that he could be an elite back-end type bullpen guy. But with him starting, they will. Here's a guy they're going to have to monitor his innings a little bit and watch him closely. But I really like the stuff, and I think it's elite. I think they've got 4 guys in this rotation that have stuff that can match with anybody, not only in the division, but in the National League for sure.
All right, let me jump in here. One more for Bruce Tanner. So we talked about everything in the way of pitching, and Greg actually asked a couple of questions I was going to ask you. So let's talk about the catching position. I saw an article just yesterday that they were actually talking about trading Joey Bart. Kind of glad they didn't, but also reading late last night about Henry Davis, and maybe, just maybe, he'll do exactly what we thought when he was chosen so high by the Pittsburgh Pirates just a handful of years ago, and he's still very young. So how do you see this catching position unfolding? Obviously a key to the future of this rotation and this bullpen. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Henry Davis, the one thing, he has come light years defensively. When he first signed, he was not a good catcher. He was not a good receiver. He worked hard, but he wasn't any good at it. And now he's really good. He can throw. He can throw with the best in the game. He's receiving the ball a whole lot better. Skeens loves throwing to him. That's a huge plus. But I think the kid's really coming along, and I did see where he has tried to alter his hitting approach because he had to do something. He's swinging at every first pitch imaginable, and he tries to pull everything. So I just hope he can stay more in the middle of the field, let the ball come to him. And if he can get any kind of offensive production, you might have a frontline catcher there, but Joey Bart is a great compliment to him. He had a nice year. Now, he had a tough second half, but he had a really nice year. And I want to know what the Andy Rodriguez kid, if he can get healthy. Now you got a left-handed switch hitter, but you get that left-handed bat to complement those right-handed bats. If somebody gets hurt and Andy's healthy, that would be a nice compliment as well. So I think they're doing really good in the catching position.
All right, one more for Bruce Tanner from Greg Diolis. Bruce, I'm Greg.
Well, no, it's just funny. You mentioned that Davis is Skeens' guy. It almost was reminiscent of Duffy Dyer with John Candelaria back in the day.
Oh, jeez.
It was like that was his guy.
Yeah, and you know what? There are certain guys, especially the elite guys, if they get along good with somebody and they feel comfortable with them, hey, by all means, you got to give them that guy, I think,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, when you got an elite pitcher like Skeens, hey, by all means, who do you want catching you today? And that's a big part of it.
Yeah. So it's back to a legitimate question. The Pirates seem to have been still up in the air with regard to third base. What do you see is going to be the guy that they plug in? Can Gonzalez play third base and be a legitimate major league third baseman?
The only thing I see, honestly, is I wish they had a quality utility player that could play shortstop. I worry about Nick Gonzalez being your shortstop because, and I know you asked about third, but I worry about Nick playing short because the arm often comes up short, and I haven't seen Nick play short all that great on a consistent basis.
Right.
And I don't know who your next option is. It's going to be Connor Griffin, but they're sure not going to start the clock on him. And I don't mean start the clock, but he's only 19 years old. He hasn't played AAA yet. The game gets a little bit faster the higher you go, and he needs reps at shortstop in the minor leagues. So while they're waiting on him, you got Nick and really nobody else. Triolo, the bat came along towards the end of last year, and I think you go with it. I don't think you can have a perfect guy in every position. I wouldn't mind seeing. Now, I don't know if Horowitz has ever played third ever.
Wow!
But I wouldn't mind seeing him at least try some third in spring training, because I know that Ryan O'Hearn, he's a decent first baseman, and that way you could get even more left-handed bats in the lineup. When you're playing in PNC Park, you want that left-handed bat. That is a short right field wall, and really they've never had a lineup with a lot of lefties in it to take advantage. And now I think you're seeing a lineup that could take advantage of that short porch.
All right, so I got to ask you, I believe today is February 15th. Last time I checked, it's been a busy weekend, and this is the 46th birthday of Donnie Kelly. So what do you make of this young manager? Your thoughts, and we'll end on that note, Bruce.
Okay, you know what? I love his enthusiasm. I love his positivity. He seems like he is communicating really well with the players. The one thing as a manager, you've got to trust your coaching staff. Let them do their work that they've been asked to do, and get the team to play as mesh as one. He's got some pieces this year which he didn't have last year, and he's going to have to mix and match. Personally, they've got O'Hearn slated to play left field. I don't think you can do that in PNC Park. You got to stick him in right field where he doesn't have to move. I would put Reynolds in left at home, and then if you want to do vice versa on the road, that's fine. But he's got some chips to play with now, and he can mix and match. And hopefully, he's got a much better team than he had last year, and I think that we're going to see what he's really about. But I like the way he ran his bullpen last year, and I think he's going to do a nice job. I really do, because I like the energy he brings.
Bruce, I know you're just kind of weighing options as far as the future, but remember, I can get you a couple of Coons gift certificates if you want to show up here. if you want to show up here once in a while, you're priceless,
You know
man.
what? I might take you up on that, Rob.
Listen, I can never thank you enough. You're one of the smartest people in the world of baseball, and you should be commentating if you don't decide to hang out in the game. And if you do, whoever hires you, wherever you go, they're getting the best of the best. So thank you for your time today. Always appreciate it, okay?
Okay, and I'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, he's great, man.
Yeah.
Listen. This guy should have been. I'm telling you, and I used to tell John Parado this all the time, one of his best friends. If there was anybody with MLB Network and all these things, like Sean Casey's done a great job, this guy should be there. But he loves baseball to where I still think he likes to smell the fresh cut grass and watch the sprinklers go early on a Sunday morning.
Who wouldn't? I was so jealous of Mackey saying that he was on the field in Bradenton, when we were talking to him. Man alive, how about what a job that would be.
And let me say this, the current ownership of the Post-Gazette, if you're not going to keep them, open it up, let somebody buy them, do what you need to do, cut the deal, make it a good deal for both sides so I can go and get a fish sandwich and pick up the Post-Gazette at Coons Market.
Didn't they say these guys that bought the Penguins are interested?
Yeah. So let's get it done, man. We need a daily paper in Pittsburgh. And one of the greatest to ever do it in black and white print, he is Bob Dvorak. He will join us to talk about the legacy and legend of Elroy Face. In your face, Elroy Face. We'll be right back.
We're only 67 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Recently, the owner of a large mattress retailer was proudly sharing how over 65% of their queen mattress prices are $15.99 or higher. At the Original Mattress Factory, our focus is a little bit different. We build superior quality mattresses right here in town and do our best to save you as much money as possible. That's why at OMF, nearly 80% of our queen mattresses are lower than those prices others brag about. Stop in or check out originalmattress.com to learn more.
Customers often ask, what's the right mattress for me? At the Original Mattress Factory, our answer is always the same. It's all about personal preference. You should select the one that feels right to you because there isn't a one-mattress-fits-all solution. That's why we offer a selection of quality and comfort choices for every preference. And our sales team will help you find the right product for your specific needs. At the Original Mattress Factory, we have the right mattress for just about everyone. Stop by to find yours today.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Morgan & Morgan isn't just an injury firm. It's our family's life work. It's my husband, it's my sons, it's me. When we take a case, we see a family just like ours. $30 billion recovered is something I'm proud of. But what I'm really proud of are the families we stood beside. It's an honor to fight for you when you need our support the most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people and your family.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwyck Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, I'm getting all kinds of emails and texts. They're trying to throw me off my game as I'm trying to do a sports show here and juggling this and that. But that's okay because that's how I'm built. I just keep on ticking. So let me get to some of the questions with the Pirates that I wanted to ask him and ask you, but I was doing my thing while you two were doing your thing. Did you talk to him about Garcia and Montgomery out of the pen?
We did not, and Montgomery was the lefty who I wanted to get to because I think that's a guy that they picked up, and assumedly he's going to be out of the pen, although I thought maybe you could see him as a spot starter too. But we did not get to Garcia at all.
So, I was talking about some of the young pitchers on the team, and I mentioned the one that they did trade away, which I knew that, but I was just trying to do too many things at one time. What did we get for him?
That he was in the O'Hearn deal, I think.
So that is good.
Yeah. That was more than that was good value.
Why did we get him? Was it O'Hearn who wanted to come here? Because I can remember Cal Fraunheiser used to be my producer. Went to University of Pittsburgh.
Wait. No, it wasn't. It was the Lyle deal because O'Hearn was a free agent
from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but anyway, Cal Fraunheiser, who used to be my producer, graduated from University of Pittsburgh, grew up in Baltimore, loved the Orioles. All he would say to me is, "I don't care what they do, but don't get rid of this O'Hearn guy."
Oh yeah.
Is he that good?
He's an all-star. So you have to expect that he can be, and especially when you're going to plunk him in here, hopefully he doesn't turn into Rowdy Tellez, who we thought was going to hit, 70 home runs here and didn't do anything for the first half of the season that he was here. But I expect that he's going to be a really exciting addition, especially in PNC.
How did we get Garcia and Montgomery? I mean, they both seem to be pretty. So, the way you start questioning yourself, what were they doing wrong that they got rid of him? But they've both got like big time talent. They can fire the baseball.
Yeah, but Montgomery was in the same trade for Lau. That was a three.
But would you give up a guy with that kind of?
Well, they think Burroughs is going to be that good. So and that could be one of those ones that turns into the Tampa Bay deal when we got Archer and gave up Glasnow, so hopefully it's not that case.
Oh, man. I was watching the MLB Network the other night, and they were talking about Martinez and the Dodgers and, could do a three-peat, this whole thing, what have you, and Ohtani and what all the other players they're getting. And Sandy Koufax, who's 90 years old, if I'm a Dodger from yesteryear, even I don't like what the Dodgers are doing. And I've never been, shy about my Yankees, which basically wrote the book.
Right.
But how can you really be a fan of this? I would much rather have seen the Pirates do what they're doing. I mean, look, even the mighty St. Louis Cardinals could end up in the basement in the division this year. That makes no sense what the Dodgers are doing.
But Rob, it's all sports. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that the Ohio State Buckeyes are doing, and that's why they're competing at winning national championships year after year, or being competitive year after year. Is they're spending more money than everybody else.
Then why would they hire Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator, who likes to run the football?
Because that's what's going to fit what they have, I assume. I mean, they had Chip Kelly
not too long ago,
right? So they just run through, and that's another part of it's a professional atmosphere that they have. I would not. I mean, that style of offense wouldn't be for me, but it might be what fits Ryan Day, and all Ryan Day has to do is two things: win against Michigan and win win a national championship.
Please don't let me forget. The St. John Providence basketball game was off the charts. Rick Pitino was out there trying to break up a fight. I'm going, go sit down in your beautiful Givenchy suit and don't get hurt. But we're going to talk about it after we spend some time with Bobby. This may be the worst the Pitt basketball program has been in a long time.
Stop worrying about Pitt. Go watch the kids down at Duquesne. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They hit a big. Alex Williams hits a bomb, a three-pointer with 13 seconds left to put them ahead by 5 points and clinch a game at St. Bonaventure. I'll be there Wednesday night rooting on Pam's Dukes. We were late for a dinner meeting last night because of staying home and watching the Dukes solidify that victory. They are hot. They are on fire. Drew Joyce has his guys ready to roll.
Yeah, but I can never forget my Pitt Panthers. But that game yesterday, God, it just never ends. It's driving me nuts. What little hair I have left, I'm pulling it out. All right, listen, short break. We'll come back. Elroy in your face. We'll talk about the legend of truly one of the Pirates' greatest of all time, an icon. He passed away at the age of 97 the other day with Bob Dvorak. Moments away, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
There is a 211 number. It's a helpline. Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis is trying to get a hike. It's part of the budget proposal. Joining us is Senator Wayne Fontana.
Certainly a credible and respected organization for many, many years. But it's a helpline for anyone that has any kind of issue.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online
Folks, we're joined again by John Diagardi of Rome Monument. John, what is bundling?
When a family is planning a funeral, sometimes cemetery salespeople will talk to them about bundling or combining products with their services. They may pressure a family, telling them they can get a substantial discount by buying everything from the cemetery.
Is this not a good idea?
Not when it comes to the monument. When there is a middleman involved, you're paying an inflated price, even when you think you're getting a discount.
John, this is something families really need to know.
I'm going to be as direct as I can be about this. At Rome, we are the manufacturer. No middleman is involved. Our artists and craftsmen make your memorial from start to finish right at our facility. You've eliminated the middleman and saved as much as 50%.
Friends, you can learn more at one of Rome Monument's 9 showrooms or visit RomeMonuments.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 44 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man was stabbed downtown Pittsburgh in Market Square early this morning. It happened around 12:30 as Pittsburgh police responded. They found the man in the street with a stab wound to the lower back as well as the head. He's now in stable condition at a hospital. Police say there were 2 suspects who left the scene in a dark-colored SUV. In Wilkinsburg, a fire broke out Saturday evening in the Douglas Plaza Apartments on Laketon Road. Multiple people inside the building had to be evacuated as firefighters dealt with that fire that started in an elevator shaft. No injuries reported. Cause of the fire is under investigation. We're entering week 3 in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Law enforcement is tracking down leads, but so far are coming up with nothing. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more.
The male suspect stands between 5'9" to 5'10" tall, with an average build, and was wearing a black Ozark Trail Hiker backpack sold exclusively at Walmart.
That's really what we're focused on. We've got to find that guy. Right now, he's who we want. Somebody out there knows who this is.
Officials say they've processed fingerprints and DNA evidence, including a pair of gloves the New York Post captured photos of near the crime scene.
Police are asking for anyone within a 2-mile radius of Guthrie's home to share any unusual video footage they've captured in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Well, today marks an end of an era at KDKA Radio as Chris Moore will retire after his final broadcast tonight. Moore was asked on Friday's Big K Morning Show what he's proudest of.
Oh, I think showing Pittsburgh a reflection of itself through some of the documentaries that I have produced, like Wiley Avenue Days, Barbershops, and so many other shows that have had a positive influence on people who watch television.
His final show is tonight, 5 to 9 p.m. KDKA Radio News Time, 12:02. We have the AccuWeather forecast coming up.
A warmer, safer winter in every home across Pittsburgh is why NRG is proud to sponsor the 18th annual Warmathon and honored to share in this city's generous spirit. When you pick NRG as your energy supplier, you'll have the power to do more, like earn cash back and travel rewards, or even contribute to local nonprofits just for paying your bill. With NRG, giving back is built in. Learn more and switch today at picknrg.com.
Ready for custom window treatments? You've got options. At Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory, the Lachina family has been serving Pittsburgh homeowners for over 60 years. Choose from custom blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies made in Lachina's own factory and tailored to your home. Enjoy Lachina's pre-shop at home service or visit one of Lachina's 2 convenient locations in Dormont or Wexford. Call 412-665-4900. That's 412-665-4900. Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory, the quality you deserve.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy with a little bit of rain this afternoon, a high of 43. More clouds as we head through tonight, perhaps some fog late, low 33, and there still could be some fog early tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny, high 51. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, also by the good people at Rome Monument, but it is Bob Dvorak, and he joins us now. Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on kdkradio.com to hear it and see it stream live. And Robert, I could not do this show without having you here because no one knows the Buccos and their history more than you. Elroy Face, 97, and as you texted me the other day, he had a great run, no doubt. But I did a little backstory, and I was telling the audience earlier, this guy's got some incredible stats. 18-1 in 1959 as a reliever, 96 career relief wins, 191 saves, 188 with the Pirates, still that team record, 802 games with our Pirates. And in 1960, he was the Yankee killer. He secured 3 saves in that 1960 series. So pontificate about the great Elroy Face. Good afternoon.
Hey, good to be with you guys. We mourn the loss. He belongs to the ages now, but we want to celebrate his life. And, athletes in this town take on the air of royalty. What better royalty could you have than the Baron of the Bullpen, right? That was a name hung on him by Bob Prince. But, all those incredible stats that you mentioned, I'll give you one more. He won the last 5 games of 1958 and the first 17 games of 1959. That's 22 in a row. I mean, wow. I would defy anybody, any pitcher anywhere to win 22 games in a row. He was like us. 5'8" in his spikes. I'm being generous. 150 plus pounds. He wasn't an imposing figure, but boy, he sure did have the fearless makeup you needed to have when you came into a game with the everything on the line. And what Maz used to say, he was fearless. Steve Blass said he was just pure brass. And when he came in off that field at Forbes Field and crossed that right field line, he owned that place. He just wanted the ball, and he would take it until he couldn't give any more.
Bob, you mentioned he had those 22 wins in a row, all out of the bullpen, though, right? He was not a starting pitcher.
Oh, yeah. And this is all new for baseball at the time, Greg. In the 50s, if you were a starting pitcher, and if you didn't finish the game you started, well, you let your team down.
Right.
The role of a relief pitcher was just being defined. He wasn't the first one, and he wasn't the first one to throw a forkball. But he defined the position, and he honed that pitch to where it became his signature thing. And he could make it go left, down right. He could cross you up with a fastball, a changeup, a curveball. He was a true pitcher, and like those guys back in the day, you had to be a complete pitcher to appear in the major leagues.
It's interesting, Bob. You mentioned a forkball, which I guess is the precursor of today's split-fingered fastball. But it's fun how those guys, and then you had Dave Justy with the palm ball, which was basically a changeup. But those were the fun things that these guys, were the engineers of, but really didn't get enough credit for all the things that they were, and they were so innovative back in their day.
Oh yeah, before radar guns and walk-up music and all the modern entrapments of the game today. Elroy was asked what was the difference between the forkball and the split-fingered fastball that today's guys throw, and Elroy said about $3 million a year. Apparently. Hey, but. Let me, Rob, you always want a backstory. I'll give you a backstory. When I talk about him being a complete pitcher, he came into a game against the Reds once, first and second, nobody out, late in the game, pressure cooker situation. So Elroy picked off the guy at second base, 1 out. Then he picked off the guy at first base, 2 outs. There's nobody on, 2 outs, and he hasn't thrown a pitch yet. I mean, that was Elroy Face right there.
What was he like in person? I may have met him once, but only once. What was it like to meet this guy? Who was he?
He's a humble man. He didn't, blow his own horn or anything. But, back in the day when these guys, they didn't make much money. So they all had jobs in the off season. And he was a carpenter. Carpenter at Mayview State Hospital down there in the valley.
Wow.
He worked just like, and I think it was those carpenter hands that really set up that forkball for him. Because, listen, I tried to throw one. I just cannot get my fingers through the seams of that ball. But quiet, humble man, raised his family, just went about his business, didn't make any waves, and just got a kick out of being able to play a game and being paid to do it for a living. So he really, I think he really thought he led a charmed life.
Your $3 million a year reference, Bob, doesn't go unheard. He actually lived on Beulah Road, right across from the first fairway of Churchill Valley Country Club in probably a little 3-bedroom house that probably even today wouldn't go for $100,000. Much different than the current pictures of what we see today, and a guy that you get 18 wins. Although I guess wins don't really matter anymore in Major League Baseball statistics, but you do something like that, you're right. That number that he mentioned is probably doubled even by now.
Well, here's the thing, Greg. When they played at Ford's Field, they didn't have a player's parking garage like they do now with all the perks and whatnot. So the guy at the gas station would charge them $1 to park their car for a game, right? So Elroy wins the first couple of games in '59, and the guy says, "Okay, Elroy, you don't have to pay me till you lose a game." So Elroy goes on his run. He said, I didn't have to pay him till September. And then it was only a couple of bucks. So he saved a ton of parking money that year.
Explain what the city was like in the 60s, what it looked like, the backdrop, and how, before the Steelers became the Steelers of the 70s, these baseball players were beloved, were they not, Bob?
Oh, yeah, and they were an extension of the city, the blue-collar mentality. You worked in the mine or the mill, you had to work for everything you got. City expected the same out of its baseball players. That's why, people like Elroy and Maz and Clemente and all of them were just so beloved because they went out and they gave you 9 innings every time they took the field.
Yeah, those guys, that 60 World Series team, doesn't legend have it, Bob, that after they won that 60 World Series, a couple of them went up to Flagstaff Hill just to kind of sit and overlook the city and watch watch the celebration unfold?
Oh yeah, Maz, who hits the deciding home run, goes into Shenley Park with his wife Mylene, and they're just like watching the squirrels run around the field in the early fall. And that's how he celebrated that momentous home run, just, with his wife in a quiet moment in the park, while watching the whole mayhem happen downtown, where things just went. Now they're throwing paper out of the windows, and there's parades, and people are honking their cars, and it was maybe a spontaneous celebration that'll never be duplicated in this town.
Everything has to be pre-planned, and you have to, 3 days in advance and brag that there's 750,000 people lining the streets.
Yeah, you have to have a parade route, right? And then you have to have a marshal. And back then, you just did it. You just got in your car and went downtown. But it was a different time. Not every game was on television. Not every pitch was analyzed ad infinitum. And, they went out and they played this game. They enjoyed themselves, and they knew exactly what they did in representing the city.
Go.
But with regard to Elroy Face, did he come up in the Pirates organization, or was he a guy that had pitched elsewhere and then was traded for?
Well, he was actually drafted by the Phillies, Army veteran, by the way, and he did okay with the Phillies in the minors, but he got released, and he was with the Dodgers. The Pirates picked him up. I think it was you would call it the Rule 5 draft. Oh. And so he came up with two different organizations, but he really made it with the Pirates, especially under Danny Murtaugh. You know how, when the manager comes and he wants to change pitchers, he'll go left or right. With Elroy, because he was 5'8", he'd just go right here.
You've taught me so many life's lessons, and one of the things that I remember you telling me about how back in the day, a sports writer could, go into a bar after a game and sit down with a player, crack open an Iron City beer, and have a conversation. So my mind sometimes runs away with me, but I can't help but think about what it must be like. And I was looking at some of the publicity photos at various Pirate events as he was older, tipping his hat to the crowd. And I thought about a youthful player like him and Madge going into like a local watering hole after a game. The gunner comes in, buys everybody in Iron City, and they're just there talking baseball and talking Pittsburgh. You got a guy working in the mill, you got a guy working in the mine, a bump in a beer, and you got one of your favorite Pirates who comes to life and is sitting on a bar stool next to you. Was it really like that, Bob?
Yeah, pretty much. Although, and back in the day, after a game, in the clubhouse, there would be a couple of buckets of beer bottles around. So after a game, you could decompress, have a couple of beers, and then go your separate ways to the watering holes and everything. That's all different now. Nobody wants to, have beer in a clubhouse.
Bobby,
nobody wants to have beer on a dugout bench either. So, but even later in life, Elroy and Maz used to play. Were good golfing buddies, and they played golf frequently. And there was a little watering hole at the Uniontown Shopping Center where they would just retire to after a round and have a couple of pops, and nobody bothered them. Nobody inundated them with autograph requests or anything like that. They were just regular guys, and they came in and they talked like regular guys. You could talk to them about anything.
That's the story that Honus Wagner in Carnegie, Bobby, right? Did you ever hear those stories? They said he would come into the bar in Carnegie, he never bought a drink. He'd wait for somebody to buy him one, but he was always at a local place in Carnegie.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have to buy many drinks. I don't think Maz had to buy many drinks. I don't think Elroy did. Yeah. But it just goes to show you, these guys were bigger than life. And, they could have had all the attitude that you wanted, but it didn't work out that way. They were just regular people. They did their jobs and they blended in, and felt grateful that they had the opportunity to play a game for a living.
Bob, as a writer, it would have been better with those guys sitting around having a few drinks after a game. I think they would get a lot looser lipped, and you'd get a lot better stories if you were hanging around long enough.
That was the idea.
Oh, you have no idea. but 90% of that stuff was off the record, by the way. So,
well, listen, I have to ask and end on this note, because you always think of what could have been. Those guys good enough that they come up today, they not only play, but they shine. People like Maz and Elroy, who I think could have been in Ken Burns' documentary, because I truly think we look at the relief pitcher today because of what he did. That's how significant. But as far as talent, any generation, could withstand any test in any time, any era?
Oh, yeah, I believe so. Unless there was the prejudice and say, oh, this guy's too small to play.
Right.
I think Elroy was the inspiration for anybody who was a diminutive kind of person, 5'8" and below. If Elroy could do it, anybody could do it. And he always said, it's not the dog that's in the fight, it's the fight that's in the dog. And he would battle you until that last out was completed.
Bob, you are truly timeless. We love you. Thank you for your time today, okay?
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about one of my favorite people.
Bobby, golf course once this snow melts, brother.
Hey, I was going to go shag some balls today, Greg, if I could get out of the snowdrift.
Hey, hitting out of that snow is a lot like hitting out of a sand trap. It's very similar.
Thank you. See, this is the secret of my game. We practiced in the snow. The sand doesn't seem such a hazard.
Oh, my goodness. He's the best. Bobby, thanks. We'll come back. We got a couple of news and notes, and we'll wrap up the day as we always do throughout the year, the final two segments, the National Football League. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Your source for everything that's news. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. For more than a decade, I've been working with CertaPro Painters, doing great work for me, and now is the time. Get a free estimate, get on the schedule at the right price. You never have to wonder what's next with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan where you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, professional rodeo in town last night. They flipped the switch and they got it up on CBS KDKA television right now. These are athletes, brother. I'm telling you right now, what these gentlemen do, it's beyond belief.
Yeah. Fearless. We talked about having that fear button in your brain. I'd enjoy being a clown in that stuff, but remember they used to have the barrels the clowns would jump into? They don't do that anymore, huh? I guess that was
why, don't you?
Somebody got knocked into the next week.
Tears
it was like riding a barrel over Niagara Falls.
Tears of the clown, laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. All right, Penguins, they're off until the 26th. Obviously, the Olympics are underway, and right now they are in second place behind Carolina in the Metropolitan Division. And I got to tell you, Sidney Crosby's played in 56 games, 27 goals, 32 assists. As he approaches 40, he may be playing the best hockey he's played in 10 years.
Yeah, they kind of got the short end of the stick with regard to this Olympics break because they were so hot.
Scary.
It was unfortunate.
Right. But how about Dan Muse, though? I mean,
coach of the year, right?
I mean, that's like the smartest move that this organization has made in a long, long time.
Yeah, very, very clearly.
He looks like an analytic type of guy, and I don't know if he is or not, but I heard he's a real brainchild when it comes to the whole idea of strategy and numbers and analytics when it comes to the game of hockey. So he's doing something right.
He's kind of a different looking cat, but if you don't look at him while he's talking, he gives you get a different feel about him. But as I was saying that a bad break, that they had this break in the middle of the season for them. It does give them a chance to get Malkin healthy. He had a shoulder issue going into the break, so he'll have a chance to get healed up because there's no Russia in the Olympics, so he's not playing for Russia.
Speaking of Russia, I had this comment the other day, and I wanted to speak out on it. I'm going to. This whole Putin thing, which is just so sad and so ugly, and I blame it all on Vladimir Putin. But, somebody was saying, well, Alexander Ovechkin hasn't spoke out against Russia. And I'm like, he's kind of got family still in Russia. And if you know what Putin does. I love Alexander Ovechkin, but then and I'm always watching everything. NHL Network, great job. So I'm watching this thing with Gretzky, talking about the comparison now that he has surpassed him and this and that. And Gretzky basically said, the greatest hockey player of all time. And, I'm thinking Ovechkin, I'm thinking of himself, Connor McDavid coming up, Sidney Crosby. And I'm thinking Mario too, but I'm thinking, okay, was injured a lot, didn't play as much, he didn't bat an eye. And he said, the most overall talent, the greatest hockey player to ever live, if he doesn't get injured, it would have been statistically records that would have never been broken, Mario Lemieux. So you start doing the old YouTube thing, and not that I'm a hockey expert, but I know talent when I see talent. He was, as they say, effortless, unbelievable, Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, some of those games, and some of the mid-season games, too, like where didn't he score 7 goals 7 different ways or something crazy? And he scored a goal like falling down one time against the Flyers. I happened to be at a game, and it was like, how did he do that?
And one of Mike Lang's favorite sayings, and they were on the air here for a while at KD, so I was listening to him all the time, but he would talk about this garage league. Honestly, if Mario got to play free-flowing hockey as they play today, because they used to mug this guy, 2 and 3. I mean, that's when they had enforcers who would literally take a stick to your shins. And he always found a way. But when he would break through and get beyond them in the blue line and it was clear sailing, it was poetry in motion, man. It was slow motion when it wasn't slow motion.
There's just something very poetic about that first goal that he scored against Boston in his first game that was like, holy smokes, what did we get here? We finally got the player in the game.
Seriously, how does God one day say, I'm going to make you 6'5", brutally handsome, debonair, and more importantly, hockey skills that no one has ever seen before. Do your best.
I don't know. Ask Paul Skeens, because he did the same thing with that right arm, right?
Think about that with Paul Skeens. Okay, before we get to Mr. Arnaud, I want to talk about what this whole thing that Joey Porter on Cam Hayward's podcast went after Ben Roethlisberger. Look, this is showbiz. It's to get clicks and likes. I'm sure when they're at a reunion someday, they'll be buddy-buddy. And you see that happening with all these athletes because they're competing for viewership. The only two that really don't do it because they got out of the gate first is the Kelsey brothers, New Heights. But I hope people understand Joey is a great guy. I've met him many times. And you just like to stir the pot a little bit, and it's great for Cam to respond because more eyeballs and ears are on his podcast. And Ben, to be quite honest with you, I think he's got one of the best podcasts out there if you like X and O's and football. And sure, they're going to speak out at times against their team or lean against their team, like Brady not supporting New England. That's all about just getting those rumors stirred up and get the winds a-swirling and get people like you and I talking about it on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show.
Well, you know where I'm going to come down on this argument because I've not hidden my feelings as far as the guy personally. Football player, he's a great football player. Not a guy that I personally, and I don't think a whole lot of people are fans of him and his personal life and lifestyle. Now, reportedly, he has gotten a lot better later on in his career and now in his post-career life. But he didn't have to do the other stuff, right? He didn't have to sign autographs for teammates, family members, and all that stuff. That's not his job. They paid him to play football.
Okay.
So I find myself in the weird position of defending Ben Roethlisberger.
Just remember, air quotes now, entertainment. Entertainment, entertainment. And the king of entertainment, Mr. Ted Arnaud, will drop by. We're going to talk about some of the needs of our Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll kind of back check and take a look back at the big game that has now crowned Seattle the world champs. All still to come. The final few segments for a Sunday edition of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
Don't delay in getting that plumbing repair done. Call Palucci Plumbing today for all of your plumbing needs. From trenchless sewer repair and waterline repairs and replacement, hot water tanks, sewer camera inspections, to Pittsburgh potty repairs, no job is too small for Palucci Plumbing. Owners Amy and Nick Palucci have been in business for 26 years, so give them a call for your next plumbing repair or replacement. Palucci Plumbing, 412-782-5050. That's 412-782-5050.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's 45 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. SWAT personnel shot an individual in Lower Borough, Westmoreland County on Saturday night after the suspect initially fired shots at authorities during a standoff. Police in Lower Borough originally responded to Rogers Drive around 6:30 Saturday night after reports that a person had fired shots into a nearby residence. A standoff soon occurred. The Westmoreland County SWAT team was called to the scene. Eventually, the individual inside the residence allegedly fired multiple shots through a window at SWAT members. SWAT responded with fire, and they shot the individual. He was transported to a Pittsburgh hospital, is under police custody. No officers were injured in the incident. Pittsburgh police are investigating after a man was found stabbed downtown in Market Square overnight. It happened around 12:30 this morning. He had stab wounds to the head and lower back. He's in stable condition at a hospital. Police say the suspects, 2 people, who left the scene in a dark-colored SUV. KDK Radio News time is 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDK.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, starting at just $119 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResPGH.com and mention KDKA.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. and still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open and happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Under a mostly cloudy sky this afternoon, there will be a little bit of rain at times, a high of 43. Mostly cloudy tonight, some areas of fog late, a low of 33. And still could have some fog early tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny, high 51. For AccuWeather, I'm Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we'll be back on Monday. Lots to talk about. As always, Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch you on Monday right here, KDK.
All right, Ted Arnaud is here. Teddy, before I get into some of the things the Steelers need to work on, you're back for your weekly half hour on the NFL because it's a brand that never sleeps. You and Mr. Diulis have a chance now to talk about the big game that, made us yawn a little bit, but it also gave Sam Darnold an opportunity to be the first quarterback in that 2018 draft with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Good afternoon.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
That game played out almost exactly like we talked about last week. Defensive slugfest. Most of the points scored in the fourth quarter. The only team that really had a chance to run away with it did. Seattle won, as kind of we predicted.
Ted, that game was so exciting, especially in the first half. I don't know, how were you able to contain yourself? It was just such a wonderful.
I was waiting for Bad Bunny. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was a good part of the show. That was not my style, but apparently it got good reviews. Hey,
I guess.
What did you think of, and what does this do to Drake May? You know, he had a really rough game. Looked less than an adequate NFL quarterback. What did that do to the season? Does it diminish or tarnish his season in your estimation?
No, I don't. I think he's young. I think they have some issues with respect to their offensive line. I think normally their offensive game calling is really good, but it wasn't very good. He's young. He's a second-year player. I think he's going to evolve into a really good quarterback for New England. But at this point, he's finishing off on a down note. But expect them to be back and be really strong next year.
Yeah, especially the late game interception. You're thinking to yourself, "Oh my goodness, where did that come from?" I mean, he threw that into triple coverage without one of his guys there. The only way that was going to be not intercepted is if one of the guys got in his own player's way.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? He was pressing. They got behind. We kind of talked about that. If they get behind, he's going to have to press it. He had turnovers. Not unlike kind of what we envisioned, but I think he's going to be a very good ball player.
Speaking of guys whose fortunes went down as far as the Super Bowl, one guy whose fortune probably went way up was Kenneth Walker. He was Le'Veon Bell-like with his patience at the line of scrimmage, picking his holes and then darting through them. He is a free agent coming up. It's going to be interesting to see if there are teams that are willing to really jump out way crazy in dollars for him.
Yeah, he actually, in some of the plays, he almost fell asleep before he made his move. He did 3 or 4 jukes, and then all of a sudden he took off, and it was very Le'Veon Bell-like. In fact, the announcers made an allusion to that. Good football player.
Isn't it amazing? And I just realized this. They both went to Michigan State, right?
Both being...
Yeah, these 2 running backs we're talking
Walker and who else?
Bell.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, so can you actually basically pick up something like that as a skill set because it's kind of like the traditional thing to do at college, and you morph into that as a professional player? So does those reps in college kind of, in some cases, become a prototype and carry on into the National Football League, Teddy?
Yeah, I think it does. Michigan State has that kind of an offense, very patient. And they haven't had a good offensive line for quite a while. So they've had to be pretty patient and pick their holes. But I really like that style of running where the back really lets the line develop what's going to happen rather than just going through it. And the line really hasn't had a chance to execute its entire process like they planned it. So I really appreciate a running back like that.
It's 2 years in a row now where we've seen a defensive line put tons of pressure on a quarterback with just 4 guys rushing. Right? We didn't see a whole lot of blitz packages involved in the game. It was basically all about just their 4 guys, and therefore we're going to be better than your 4. We saw I think it's Mills or Hills just push the right guard or the left guard right back into the quarterback and they grabbed him by the throat. I was like, that was a man playing in that position.
Almost looked like we were watching WWF.
Didn't it? He just pushed him back and then grabbed him by the throat. I was like, holy mackerel, that guy's strong.
Well, that left side, and I'm surprised they went into it without a little bit more strength. They're both rookies, and that's just made for calamity when you have that kind of a situation. And Seattle, rightfully so, maximized the pressure on them, and the outcome was pretty evident.
Yeah, and it goes to show you, right, even though you get a left tackle who was a first-round draft pick, it's you got to, offensive line is one of those positions. You got to work your way into it. It's just not something you can just step right in. You got to get seasoned as a professional.
Especially that left tackle position with a right-handed quarterback. I mean, the vulnerability of a quarterback is very obvious once you're in that situation.
So what about McDonald? He's a young stud. He works out hard. He's got the big chest. He's a great defensive-minded coach. Man, they got a crown jewel as far as that guy. But if you're that guy, now you have the possibility of new ownership where the whole thing could change. Are you concerned at all, do you think?
I'm concerned whether I'm going to make $28 million a year or $26 million a year.
If you're going to have as much control, because you know how egos go.
Right, yeah, I get that.
Well, I think anybody who would buy that franchise, the first thing they're going to do is talk to him and make sure they're in sync, because he's a heck of a young coach. And what I liked is, before the game, he's out running his 5 miles or whatever it is to get loosened up. So he's young. He's fat. They really played one heck of a game, and that defense was as good as almost any defense you saw in the Super Bowl.
So with the Rams and Stafford coming back, and Purdy will be there, and Mike Shanahan, probably one of the best offensive-minded coach we've seen in recent years, are they still the team to beat in that conference out there on the West Coast? What do you think, Greg?
The Rams being? Or
No, Seattle.
Seattle? Yeah, I mean, if you
lot
win,
of talent
somebody has to knock you off your perch, right? So until you get knocked down, you got to be the team that everybody says is the team to beat. But I don't think they're going to be by any means the odds-on favorite.
So did Darnold get more than 1 year? What's the deal with him? What kind of contract
I think
did he
he's
get?
free again.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And, because I saw that and I'm thinking, so what happens? He gets a big bag of money, or could he possibly go somewhere else? What do you think, Teddy?
I think the whole thing's open for him. He's been on 4 different teams now, so going to a new team is not gonna upset him at all. He's going to look and see what's going to go for the gold right now.
I think you're pretty likely, though, Ted, to see the Seahawks make a run to try to keep him there, because it's not like
they're
they
have
another.
To pay the price.
Because Minnesota would have kept him if they didn't have the kid from Michigan waiting in the wings, even though that turned out to be a negative. But, now you don't have that situation in Seattle.
All right, real quick, a couple of other things, then we'll come back, focus on the Steelers. Stefanski, Cousins is on his way. There's even been talk Steelers, Kyler Murray on his way. There's been talk of the Steelers. Everybody has been, Malik Willis, the backup at Green Bay. What about Cousins? Where's he go? The guy's made $500 million in the league. Could he go to Minnesota? What happens to Kirk Cousins?
Well, does he have to leave? I mean,
they've already said they're going to move on.
They're going to go
Michael
with Penix.
Yep,
Penix is the guy.
Yep.
I don't want to see another retread. I want to see what we have or get a rookie next year.
Listen, I even told him, Teddy, that I do not want Aaron Rodgers to come back. I think you roll the dice with Will Howard, see what you get. And if maybe Malik Willis, who I liked coming out of Liberty years ago, who's turned into a pretty good player, and everybody's talking about him, and I know it's all, right now we'll have to wait and see with him too. But I just think at this point, you might as well at least see what Will Howard has to offer. I wouldn't be courting or waiting for Aaron Rodgers as we did last year. And you quickly on that, then we'll come back and talk more Steelers. Go ahead.
I kind of like Aaron Rodgers coming back for one more year. To have another year with McCarthy and groom him, I don't know. I'm not sure he's ready. He hasn't played one snap. So I would like to see him move into that second position and get some more reps than what he has before we put the crown on him.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. Some things the Steelers need to be thinking about. And here's the thing that blew me away because, it's always been Tomlin, and they would, plug in one coach or another, but not have to create an entire coaching staff. And I knew the NFL was big. I'm counting the other day. There's like close to 30 coaches on these NFL teams. Greg, that's a lot of money to spend.
There's 30 coaches on an individual team?
Yeah, like the passing coordinator coach, a quarterback coach.
Run game coordinator. And, I didn't realize it was that
I kind of
the Steelers were only at like 17, though, weren't they?
I think it ended up at like 28.
Wow.
That's incredible. Why aren't we coaching? If that's the case, they could find a spot for us. All right, cafeteria coach.
Be their salary cap administrator. Coach.
Absolutely. We'll come back. One more segment with Ted Arnaud and Greg Dylas before we call it a day. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
We're only 67 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
What if you could buy a flippable, two-sided mattress made with the finest materials that cost less than other luxury brands? This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory, and this is exactly what you'll find with our new Orthos line available exclusively at OMF. We build these by hand using premium materials like wool and cotton. It's old-world craftsmanship with modern comfort, our most extraordinary sleep system. Built locally at a price other luxury brands just can't match. Visit the Original Mattress Factory and experience the Orthos line for yourself.
Let's be honest. The hearing aid industry is broken. Overpriced clinics, pushy appointments, bills of $5,000 or more. That's the trap they hope you fall into. Don't let it happen. Audien Hearing is the escape. Their FDA-registered hearing aids cost just a fraction of the big brands, starting at only $98. Instead of paying as much as $5,000 plus all the doctor appointments and wasted time, you get what you need with no prescriptions, no office visits, no time wasted. good. And no crazy price tag. Call 800-700-HERE. That's HEAR. Audion's cutting-edge devices are rechargeable, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. Try them risk-free for 45 days with lifetime support and real human help just a phone call away. Over 1 million people have already said yes to Audion Hearing. Join them. Don't let them take advantage of you. Break free from the trap. Call now 800-700-HERE. That's HEAR for a very special offer. 800-700-HEAR or 800-700-4327.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Okay, let's talk about our Steelers. And now that the season is over, Ted will be with us every week, as he normally is, from 12:30 to 1. But obviously, when we get towards the draft here in Pittsburgh, which will be here before you know it, we'll be doing a lot of stuff with, of course, Greg and, yes, Ted Arno. All right, here we go. Determining the franchise quarterback. We already kind of took care of that. So let's talk about managing the salary cap contracts and new offense coordinator and all that other good stuff. So, Greg, you jump in on that. Go ahead.
So we're talking about what the Steelers have. Apparently, they're reportedly way under the cap. So, and they do have the good news about being able to build a team without having a $50 million a year quarterback to have to pay. So that's where what you're trying to do is maybe build up in spots around your quarterback. Their wide receiver room is really devoid of a whole lot of talent other than DK, who, I don't know, was he the least valuable or the, I don't want to say dumbest, but I'm going to say dumbest signing in the history of the Steelers, giving him a $50 million a year contract for very little productivity, Ted?
Yeah, he was a disappointment, obviously, in quite a few ways. So their wide receiver room needs a lot of work. I don't know who they even have after DK that's going to really be able to step up in a meaningful way. So I think they're going to be putting a lot of emphasis on that on the draft. But as we know, that's not always necessarily the case where you can go, other than if you're lucky and you get a one-off receiver like Seattle got. But that needs a lot of work.
Okay, what about A.J. Brown? There's been talk about maybe him coming from Philadelphia. Obviously, it's in another conference. We're not going to be competing with them unless we get into the postseason, or maybe, I don't know, we might have a game with them during the regular season, but that's it. Do you see that as a possibility, or would that be too many egos in one room? Go ahead.
Well, I don't know about too many egos. I just think it's too much money on that position. I mean, even a super wide receiver is going to get 10 catches a game. That you still got another 40 plays that somebody else has to have the football that you have to pay. So I don't know if I go, to get an A.J. Brown, you probably need to pay him $30 million a year. So I don't know that you can afford to do that kind of thing.
Is that the best solution? Do they need another top flight, or could they go to the draft and get one of these young studs to get in here just to make, the secondary and the defense, backpedal a little bit? Go ahead, Ted.
Well, they can. It's been done, but those are rare and far between. At this point, the Steelers haven't shown the penchant for being able to fill that position completely with the draft. And I agree with Greg. You can't put all that much money into that position. You need to somehow get some players who aren't quite as expensive, who can catch the ball and run the routes they're supposed to, which we had a little bit of a problem with at the end of the year, and we haven't solved the running back position yet. So, I mean, the offense needs a lot of work.
All right, what do we do with the left tackle position? You first, Greg.
Well, you had a young guy that stepped in and played great, but I think you got to go back with Broderick Jones. That's the guy that you had pinned your future on. You start the season with Jones and Fautanu as your bookends, and then you have the young guy as a swing guy, because you don't have to pay him anything. He's an exclusive rights guy, so you got him locked up. The bigger question is going to be, are they going to have another controversial holdout / negotiation with Cam Hayward? Because they have a contract with him again, but he's not going to play for what he signed for last year. He already, was a bitter holdout last year. So, what are you going to do with that? And do the Steelers say, look, you lived up so much so to what we did. You were underpaid last year. Are they going to willingly come up with, another $3 or $4 million a year to make him happy, or are we going to have that angst that we had this past year?
Okay, let's talk about, obviously, re-signing some key free agents. We can get to that. But what about the safety position and the depth there? Let's talk the secondary, Ted.
Yeah, the secondary is not in as bad shape as the offense is. But you need another good safety, and you could probably use another lockdown cornerback that doesn't have a whole lot of penalty problems. But I feel more confident about the defense than I do the offense.
Yeah, well, we should. We still have one of the higher-paid defenses in the league, so we should feel good about them, although I don't know that they lived up to their paychecks last year. I still love their edge rushers when you got the three with Highsmith, Herbig, and obviously TJ. And everybody's talking about trading TJ. First of all, you're not going to find a trading partner. Nobody's going to take that contract on. And you had a very much of a fluke situation where he missed several games because of the dry needling issue. So I think you're probably, and believe it or not, you're hearing this from me, you're going to see a good season from TJ Watt.
All right, so what happens to Herbig here? Because he said he doesn't want to be, second tier anymore. He wants to be the guy. Could you possibly trade Alex Highsmith? Do you have enough confidence in keeping him around? Or can he pick up the slack?
No, you tell Herbig you got another year in your contract. You play with what we...
Yeah.
There's this thing called a collective bargaining agreement. Your union committed you to 4 years with us. We're going to pay you what we're required to pay you, and then you can go next year. We'll talk next spring.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, well, he's got to have a really great year next year in order to get the following year a great contract somewhere. If not with the Steelers, then with somebody else. So I agree with Greg. I mean, you're under contract. Get out there, play your rear end off, and show us what you got.
Right,
now, if I were representing him, that whole last conversation would have been different, fellas.
Of course.
Little zig and a zag. Oh, by the way, today it's the Daytona 500, Teddy's stomping grounds. Cal Busch is on the pole. Teddy, unless you've been around it, people just don't understand what a spectacle it is, right?
Oh, it's 150,000 people going crazy. And until you go down close to the track along the gate and hear those cars go by, you don't know what it is. You just really don't know what to experience.
Yeah, I had a chance to see Indy close up and personal, and but I think that's what we used to call stock car racing would be fascinating, especially with that high bank track at Daytona.
Yeah, and the noise is it's incredible. It's exciting. It's a great time to be down there. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get down there yet, but hopefully this week I might.
I haven't heard of in a long while, and I don't think he still does it, but the great Chris Economaki was the name that I always loved doing auto racing.
He was great. All right, listen, before we get out of here, we were talking about all the coaches that they've added. What about strength and conditioning? You think this team needs to put on some muscle and get a little stronger, Teddy?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's one of the key positions. That we lost our special teams coach, so we got to see how the new one's going to do. But I think strength and conditioning is always key.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I thought for sure my man Bubba Ventrone would become their strength and conditioning coach. I know he was talked about a little bit, but did not end up with that position.
All right, Teddy, let me give you the final minute. Things you would like to see, your wish list for our Pittsburgh Steelers. Go ahead.
Well, like we talked about, I really hope that they concentrate on the receiver position, and I think the line will improve. I think I'd like to see them sign Gainwell because I think he had one heck of a season, and he showed that he's one of the rare running backs that can come out of the backfield and almost double as a receiver. So I think those two things I would like to see. As far as Cam, I think he's gonna fall in line. And I think the defense is looking good. Maybe one safety, maybe a cornerback. but the offense really needs a lot of work.
Teddy, enjoy, and I hope you get to head back to Florida for a little bit of sand between your toes, and we'll catch up with you next week, okay?
You got it, guys. Have a good one.
So what's up with you the rest of today, Counselor?
We're going to take care of my man Nick Scalise at Giuliano's Restaurant on Steubenville Pike. It's the best little Italian joint that I've come across. He's an old Oakland friend, and they really took care of Abby and Derek the other day and did some special things for them. So we're going to take care of old Nick Scalise and Giuliano's.
You're going to dust off that wallet and actually spring today.
Those guys are the best, man. There's some of the food that they
What are you
going to
have?
Well, there'll be a pizza to start with, and then probably some chicken. What do they call it? Parmesan, chicken parm with their spaghetti, and they have a sauce. It's kind of like a vodka sauce, pink sauce. It's just
you know what the key is. You know what the key is to that though? It's the bread and butter. You got to have some rolls, man.
They do it right there.
Well, have fun, man. Enjoy yourself. How's your dad? Good?
Good, real good. Finally got him out the gym. He missed Mass a couple of weeks in a row. He was not happy about it, so we got the Mass this morning. Everything's good.
All right, let me tell you one more time. Fish begins Ash Wednesday. We've got walleye this year, and, of course, the incredible haddock. And then every Friday, Fabulous Fish Fry Friday at Coons Market. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're back beginning tomorrow night after that local news at 6. Your Pratt Pack KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
There is a 211 number. It's a helpline. Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis is trying to get a hike. It's part of the budget proposal. Joining us is Senator Wayne Fontana.
Certainly a credible and respected organization for many, many years. But it's a helpline for anyone that has any kind of issue.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Italian subs for your finance team at Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. Easy Cater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. Easy Cater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 45 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Pittsburgh police are investigating after a man was found stabbed twice downtown in Market Square. It happened around 12:30 this morning. Man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. He's now in stable condition. Police say there were two suspects who possibly left the scene in a dark-colored SUV from downtown. In Wilkinsburg, a fire broke out Saturday evening at the Douglas Plaza Apartments on Laketon Road. It happened in the elevator shaft the fire began. Multiple people inside the building had to be evacuated as firefighters dealt with that fire. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, crews continue to search for a missing Washington County man along the Mon River. Crews are focused on a stretch of the river in the city of Monongahela under the city's bridge. 26-year-old Shelby Rhodes was last seen in that area a week ago when the river was still covered in ice. Now, dive teams have searched in the water for Rhodes. So far, no sign of him. Also, there have been crews using an aerial drone, sonar equipment, as well as underwater drones that teams from the borough of Elizabeth have provided. Here's Monongahela Fire Chief Aaron Leeser telling KDK Television.
They're like really small submarines, basically, and they have cameras and everything on them, and they can go under and see what we can't see under the ice.
Rhodes' sister, Jessica, is not giving up any hope.
I'm very hopeful he is. If they found nothing for this many hours, where is he? If you're seeing this, please, 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 please come home.
Confrontation erupted during a protest against the arrest of a South American man living in Springdale by ICE agents. The protest started around noon in the area of Pittsburgh and School Streets as people protested the arrest of 36-year-old Randy Cordova Flores on Tuesday by ICE agents. Cordova Flores is currently being detained by ICE in Phillipsburg, Center County. During the protest in Springdale, a man stepped out of his SUV, confronted a few protesters, then pushed a photographer. Springdale police addressed the situation quickly. Was briefly detained was the man, then released. The rally continued on following that confrontation, and during the rally, protesters also called on Springdale as a borough to end its agreement to cooperate with ICE officials. Well, today, just a few hours away, marks the end of an era. KDK Radio's Chris Moore will retire after his final broadcast. Moore was asked on Friday's Big K Morning Show what he's proudest of.
Oh, I think showing Pittsburgh a reflection of itself through some of the documentaries that I have produced, like Wiley Avenue Days, Barbershops, and so many other shows that have had a positive influence on people who watch television.